What's up everyone? So in today's video we have another code snippet which deals with the concept of this keyword in JavaScript. And I think this is one of the most confusing concepts that JavaScript developers find. So let's see. So here we have the code snippet with us. I have directly pasted it into the browser console. We are calling the method foo on the object obj directly. And remember that this console log statement is present inside the setTimeout callback function. So before dealing with this code snippet, with this question, what we're going to do, we're going to solve some easier questions so that we understand the concept better. Alright, so here we have a very normal code snippet where we are declaring a variable x with a value 10. Then we are declaring the function show this. So we are calling this function in the global scope. So in the global scope, this keyword value is equal to the window object. And here in this case, the window.x is equal to 10. So whenever we execute the function show this, we will see 10 in the output. Alright, now let's deal with another code snippet. In this code snippet, you can clearly see that we have an object obj and we are declaring attribute x to the value 20. Then we have another method show and we are calling this show method on this obj. Alright. So here the show function is basically a normal function. So in this case, the value of this will depend upon on which object you're calling the show method. So here we're calling the show method on obj object. So obj, this will be equal to the obj object and .x will be taken from the obj if it is present. So obj.x is equal to 20 and you will be able to see 20 in the output. Alright, but if show function would have been an arrow function, what would happen in that case is the arrow function don't have their own this context. So they will be inheriting lexically. So in this case, they will be inheriting from the global scope. So if I change this show function to an arrow function, it will be taken lexically from the global scope, in this case 10. So you will be able to see 10 in the output. So I think there is a main difference between the regular functions and the arrow functions. Alright, now we have this code snippet where we have the console log statement inside the setTimeout callback, and this setTimeout is present inside the show method of obj. Now this is a regular function. So this keyword will be dependent upon what context this is being called. But after 1 second, after 1000 milliseconds, the context is lost and it will be falling back to the global scope. So we won't be able to see obj.x, but we will be able to see window.x. So when we execute obj.show, we will see 10 after 1 second. So now on the basis of these three questions, let's deal with our original code snippet that we had in the beginning of the video. So here obj.foo we are calling, right? Now the setTimeout here is an arrow function. So in case of arrow function, what happens is it inherits this keyword. Basically the arrow function don't have their own context. They will be taking the context from the lexical, from the outer scope. So in this case they will be taken from the foo, but foo have the context of obj. So ultimately this will have obj.x. So we'll be able to see 3 in the output. But what will happen if we have the setTimeout function as a normal function? I want you to pause the video and think for about 20 to 30 seconds what will happen. So if you guess output will be 4, you are right. So what happens is it's a normal function and it will be falling back to the global scope, because at the time of execution after 1 second, the time is not mentioned, but when it comes out after queue, macro task queue, it won't have the context of obj. It will be falling back to the global scope. In this case, global scope, we have window.x as 4. So we'll be able to see 4 in the output. And that's how this keyword works in JavaScript.